If you're not pruning or defoliating your plants, you're missing out on one of the easiest ways to boost your yield and plant health. Let's dive into the benefits of pruning and defoliation and show you why these simple steps can make a huge difference in your growth. But before we do, me and Gangsta Pop out here, we're going to tell you what's up with IPM in your growth, solving problems with bugs, powdery mildew, fungus gnats, white flies, botrytis, aphid strips. That's right. Lost Coast Plant Therapy has your back, guys. You don't need to be using poisons and pesticides in your grow. Go to lostcoastplanttherapy.com and coupon code DUDE will hook you up with 20% off. And don't forget, you can go over there and just get their 2-ounce free sample to get you going. That's lostcoastplanttherapy.com. It's a mouthful, Lost Coast. Coupon code DUDE will hook you up. DGC approved, great IPM product. Let's do that. I love working with the plants, Scotty. I mean, pruning, it's like going in there, give a little haircut, give them a little trim, give them a little love. So I think it's a good time in the growth.
Yeah, I mean, really what we're doing is allowing them to breathe. I mean, that's the big deal. These plants need to breathe and they respire. They need to grab CO2 from the air and then release that oxygen and grab that carbon. So we need to make sure that CO2 and fresh air can reach those plants deep inside that canopy.
Yeah, because like microclimates is what you're talking about. When you get too much stuff bushed up against each other, even if you have great air movement, you can have microclimates. That's where if it's in leaves or stacked on top of each other, you might get some bugs hiding in there and you can get a powdery mildew you don't see. So we want to avoid these. So pruning will help, especially with PM, air movement, reducing humidity within the plant canopy and below. Mid canopy, don't forget about that. You want air movement down there as well.
Yeah, I mean, your leaves, the underside of your leaves have stomata, which are supposed to grab the carbon, grab the CO2, and release the oxygen. So if we've got one leaf laying on another, well, we can't get to those stomata. So and then we're just causing this microclimate where we could have some kind of mold or mildew or pest or a good place for a bug to set up shop.
Yeah, I dig. Also, in this process, we're going to get better light penetration. You know what I'm saying? We want, your light to get down through the canopy. And we're not talking all the way to the lower part. Your prime buds are going to be mid canopy to upper canopy. And you want to keep an eye on trying to prune away where you might know where your popcorn buds coming, Scotty.
Sure.
And sometimes the reason that's, let's say really quick, the difference between pruning. To me, pruning is you're taking a smaller branch, a whole branch off the stem. Defoliating, that's taking some leaves off at a time off different areas of the plant.
Sure. More just I guess they're both redirecting the energy. But defoliating is just trying to get rid of what do we call it, larf sometimes. Things that are just, plants only got a certain amount of energy coming up from those roots. So we just want to direct it.
Another thing is managing these guys, man. Pruning and taking away leaves, mainly pruning. These plants grow big. If you've seen a plant let loose outside, you can see an 8-foot plant if you would like. In some varieties and some strains. So we got to manage these things to the growth space that we have. Everybody likes to talk about yield increase. This one can be a little controversial. You mentioned energy redirection. I mean, you like to prune. Energy redirection is, explain that a little more. We don't want it going to our lower finicky buds.
If you have, I'm trying to think, a train or something like that has, nutrients, that has food. And if you can just make a direct line to your big giant cola buds, you're going to get more food to them. If you've got to stop off every now and again, a lot and give a little larf bud on the bottom, some nutrients and a little larf bud over there, you're not directing, you're misdirecting that energy and that food.
And then basically, it gives it a little stress as well. I think we get a stress response here as well.
Yeah,
when you
definitely.
You picture a plant outside that gets gnawed on by a deer or some bugs. The plant does put on a stress response. It can be telling it simply in some forms, hey, I need to work harder. I might not make it all the way. I need to push flowers harder so I can catch some pollen. It's a deep thought for what the plant is making there. But one technique that I wanted to get into quick is when people will say it's popular to hear when you're going into flower on day 1 that you go to 12-12, and then about 3 weeks later, 20 days later or so, off like a massive lease to Schwazi. I don't know.
Schwazen, man.
Where did they come up with that? What is that?
My G13 came with directions to remove all the leaves at week 3 or to give it a real aggressive pruning at week 3. It does seem counterintuitive because the leaves are your solar panels. They're what's going to photosynthesize. I will say, though, it was amazing. It is amazing if you defoliate during flower, or I'd say, week 3, 20 days in the flower. Man, they will come back, man. Those leaves will, they'll pop some more leaves, and it's not like I don't know, it actually works.
This is one I dug into. Did a lot of Googling, and it's not like you're finding the studies on it, but tons of growers, I see way more guys and gals, hey, we did this at day 1 and day 20. Some people say take all the fan leaves. It's almost too much for me to handle. I would say experiment with this. I'm not fine with you taking 50% of the fan leaves off. It is an energy redirect. And when I dug around, do it yourself, people are reporting definitely an increase in flower weight and flower production. Just simple as that. So do it at your own, even if you shouldn't be defoliating at those times, regardless, about 20%. Sure. We want to open up light to those bud sites. It's definitely important for those lower buds. And if you get blocked out with big fan leaves, remove those in flowering for sure.
Sure, because don't forget, those fan leaves have to absorb that light. So if they're being covered by another leaf, they're just not working. They're actually causing a microclimate or a mold and mildews can grow. It's actually more of a problem.
Get yourself a nice pair of pruners, a nice pair of scissors. Actually, I have 2 different tools for that. Pruners are a little bit heavier duty, maybe to take thicker branches, even up to like pinky size, or scissors for pruning, taking away leaves. Nice and real easy. I like the curved pointy ones to get right into there where the leaf hits the stem. You're good to go.
Remember about the scissors that you want to wash them or clean them, soak them in some alcohol as you go plant to plant, just so if one plant has some kind of virus in there, and they do, these things carry viruses.
You get 100,000 packs of alcohol pads. That's a good tip. Keep them in your pockets. What are you guys doing out there? As far as defoliating, I'm really curious if people are in the first day of flower and the schwazi, y'all never say it right.
Schwazing. Actually, I just read it on the internet. I have no idea if I'm saying it correctly.
Tell us your experience with that in flower and how it's affecting your yields. Leave it in the comments below.
Hey, and if you dug this video, please hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, share this video with another grower you know. And check out the other couple of videos YouTube's recommended, because I know you're going to like them.